Hello, it's me, your friendly neighborhood waifu collector, the only fair human on Earth, and it's been a while, but we're here to talk about Street Fighter, because the Year 1 / Season 1 bundle of characters is coming to a close, with us recently getting our first real look at the final character, fan favorite, Akuma. And he's coming this spring, and it's spring right now, so we're just about out of here. So naturally, we all start looking ahead, wondering what's gonna happen for Season 2. Or more importantly, which characters will we get? And typically that would be up in the air, it'd be anybody's guess, and perhaps it still is, but that all depends on whether or not these new leaks are true. That's right, new leaks. And if you remember, back before the game came out, the entire base roster got leaked, and then the entire Season 1 lineup got leaked. Both leaks turning out to be true. And these new leaks are coming from that same leaker. So obviously, we all feel a bit more credibility being added to these leaks now because of this person's track record. But I'd advise still not taking this as complete and total fact just yet. After all, the old leaks also came with very obviously real concept art, and these new leaks have no such proof attached. Regardless though, the leaker does claim to know the identities of all 6 of the upcoming Season 2 characters. That's right, 6. So let's go over them. I'll provide my thoughts, and then we'll get the fuck out of here, huh? Okay, so first up, no surprise here, M. Bison. He's back from the dead, apparently, and honestly, whether these leaks are true or not, we all expect him to show up at some point. And I'm not really mad at it. I like Bison. I think Bison's cool. I would prefer it if they had let him be dead for a bit longer, really a lot longer, just in terms of lore and bringing a fresh air about things, but you know what, it's fine. Because honestly, there are a lot of interesting angles they can take with his return. I mean, so much of Bison's lore revolves around him attempting to circumvent death, mainly with replacement bodies, and we've seen men, women, machines, and animals all be potential vessels. So you can potentially bring Bison back as just whatever you want almost. I would also predict that whatever state he shows up in will be significantly weaker than he used to be. Not in terms of gameplay, of course, just in the lore. I just feel like, he died or was supposed to be dead, and if he's back, he should sort of give off this just scraped by kind of recovery vibe, That's what I think anyway. There's also Street Fighter characters like Kage, who is like a spiritual manifestation of the Satsu no Hado, residing in Ryu turned physical. And so I can see Bison maybe even showing up in a similarly manifested spectral form, but due to psycho power rather than the Dark Hado. Whatever though, basically, there's a lot of ways for Bison's return to be really fucking cool, even if I think it'd have been that much cooler if we'd had to wait longer for it. Moving on though now to the second character, this is my least favorite of the bunch, it's Vega. Yeah, so Vega is allegedly on the way, like all these characters, and going back to like the classic 4 Street Fighter bad guys, Sagat, Bison, Balrog, Vega, I like Bison, I like Sagat. Never really cared for Balrog and Vega. Never really thought they looked too cool, and never really liked how they played. Even lore-wise, they're kind of just boring henchmen. Having said that though, I'm always happy to see characters improved upon and made more interesting. So while I myself wouldn't pick Vega to be added to the game, I'm still somewhat excited for the potential that he becomes a character I'm more interested in. There can also be a cool take on what Vega's been up to with M. Bison dead. Although if he comes out after Bison, I imagine his story would at least reference hearing that Bison has returned in some way. Now obviously we can't ditch the mask, we can't ditch the claw that is Vega, but I think we can alter the mask and maybe alter it with symbolism that references new developments in his personality, whatever those developments may be. But yeah, I'm trying to look at the bright side of this for me because, as I said, I don't really want Vega. But it is what it is. Our third character though is said to be none other than Miss Flying Peach, Rainbow Mika. And you'll probably remember that our Mika was the center of a bit of controversy concerning censorship during Street Fighter V's run, back when they got rid of the infamous butt slap. So I find her to be an interesting pick when you take that into account. One might assume that Capcom would try to steer clear of reminding people of any controversies, but actually I think this is a pretty good reflection of the confidence that modern day Capcom has been exuding as of late. After the successful launch of Street Fighter 6 and it being so well received, I almost feel like they'd want you to remember the Mika controversy because they're that confident in how hard they're gonna nail it. I mean, and you think about characters like Cammy and how she was executed in Street Fighter 6, she's still an insanely fan-servicey, sexy character, still has her classic costume available in game. They just fucking nailed it. And so you consider that in relation to how revealing our Mika's costume is and how dependent on sex appeal her design is, and you've got to think that if it's true that she's gonna be in this game, it's pretty likely that she'll remain a very fan service oriented character. Street Fighter 6 has not shied away from that side of themselves and that side of the wider franchise, so I have no reason to think they do it with Mika. I mean, they posted official TikToks calling Cammy mommy, Juri has her foot in the camera when you go to select her, right? That kind of stuff. So I'm expecting that they would keep that same energy with our Mika. I guess my only additional hope would be that the devs reference the butt slap in some way, because it was such a big hullabaloo at the time that you've got to acknowledge that it happened. The absolute most goated thing they could do would just be to give her a butt slap in this game, but make her do it like after you get like a perfect round or some shit. That would be a great Easter egg. Let's move on though to the fourth character rumored to be coming in Season 2. It's Sakura. And oh boy, oh man, let me tell you something, buddy. This is what we want. And by we, I mean me. Listen, man, Sakura is my absolute favorite Street Fighter character and my number one waifu of all time. I believe in tomboy supremacy. And that has something to do with the appeal of all the Street Fighter waifus, right? There's just something appealing about a woman who can probably kick your ass. But yeah, man, what can I even say? Of course I want Sakura. I'm excited for developments in her gameplay as well, because I love how different Ryu and Ken are in Street Fighter 6, more different than they've ever been, because in the modern era, having 10 characters who all do the exact same thing with minor differences isn't cool. Capcom and the Street Fighter team know this. Even Street Fighter V did well to make it far less of a thing, but I'm interested to see just how different they end up making Sakura. And I have for a long time now felt that adult Sakura should end up romantically involved with Ryu, and they should have a child who becomes a playable character somewhere down the line. Maybe Street Fighter 7. I wholeheartedly believe that that is what should happen in the Street Fighter lore. I think it's a legitimately good story development and arc for those characters. And if somebody at Capcom magically hears this, you can have that idea free of charge. It's all yours. Just make it happen. And yeah, I would just hope a Street Fighter 6 Sakura redesign would look cool. I'd love a new look, but I need that classic costume. Although honestly, wouldn't be mad if they omitted the classic costume, but only if I get the battle costume from Street Fighter V where she's just dressed as Ryu. Fucking fire. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's talk about number 5. It's Elena. And I like this pick. Not because I'm some huge Elena fan, I'm really not. And I know she terrorized the back end of Street Fighter 4 with their healing ultra, but that should be water under the bridge at this point. I like this pick just cause I think it's a good inclusion. I think she'd make a good addition to the roster, and because a lot of the bigger changes to long-standing characters didn't start happening until Street Fighter V, and Street Fighter 4 positioned itself as the return of Street Fighter 2 basically. So because of all of that, it can really feel like any character who wasn't present in Street Fighter V damn near doesn't exist. So getting Street Fighter 3 reps like Elena who were not in 5 is really cool. Now, would I rather it be Makoto here? 100%, but I'll settle for Elena. And I have a hunch that her updated look is gonna be really good. I don't know why. I just feel like that. I think they'd really show the fuck out with the Street Fighter 6 Elena design. But yeah, man, after that, we are rumored to be getting one more character, except the 6th and final character of Season 2 will not be a returning character, but instead a complete newcomer to the Street Fighter series. So that will be exciting. First looks at new characters are always fun. I mean, Street Fighter has some of the greatest character designs of all time, if you ask me, and strong ass character designs generally, but even they've put out some stinkers. I mean, we can't forget what Ed used to look like, but as in their bag as Capcom currently are, I won't start the doubt now. Anyhow, this new character is said to be either African or Middle Eastern. Apparently our leaker doesn't have the clarity on that info. I would probably guess Middle Eastern though, if Elena is in fact in this group. Elena's Kenyan, I think, and not that there can't be two African characters in a season, but it kind of seems a little unlikely, especially if the order I've said these in is the order they released. That would be back to back with the African characters, which I just don't see happening. But okay, that's pretty much it. Remember, we don't know if this is true yet, but if it is, I'd say I like it. The only thing I definitely want to change here is Vega, but I'll take 5 out of 6. Of course, there are characters I want that aren't on here. No Makoto, no Dudley, no Sea Viper, but again, we do not know this to be 100% accurate yet, and even if it is, the life of Street Fighter 6 will not end with Season 2, so there will be plenty of time for us to get a whole lot more that we want. So yeah, go ahead and tell me what you think of this. Do you believe this leak? Do you think that this is a good lineup? Are you hoping it's true? Are you hoping it isn't? And who are you wanting in the future? Drop it all in the comments. Also, drop a like and consider subscribing maybe. Thanks for watching though. Until next time, I am Waifu Collector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I really want Sakura in Street Fighter 6. Goodbye.